Sometimes I do wish there was a rewind button, but I also feel like if there was, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Sometimes hope doesn't come crashing in. Sometimes it tiptoes in quietly when you least expect it. Welcome to Hope Comes to Visit. I'm Danielle Elliott Smith. My guest today has found hope in some unexpected places, and I'm really excited to be sitting down with her. Let's take a quick moment to thank the people that support and sponsor the podcast. When life takes an unexpected turn, you deserve someone who will stand beside you. St. Louis attorney Chris Dully offers experienced one-on-one legal defense. Call 314-384-4000 or 314-DUI-HELP, or you can visit dullylawfirm.com. That's DULLE lawfirm.com for a free consultation. Holly, your story, when we talked the other day, this is Holly Plont. So, Holly, you are a new friend of mine.
Yes.
When we were sitting and talking the other day, I found myself so taken by the beauty of the everyday in your story, because you have been going through some transitions that I think are so incredibly relatable to people in their lives in little bits and pieces. I'm going to start by saying what first caught, and then I want you to, we're going to introduce a little bit of your story.
Sure.
So we were sitting and we're talking. So you're originally from Missouri.
I am, yes.
And you moved.
Yes.
You moved to Texas.
Yes.
Mother of three. Married for 15 years.
Yep.
Amazing husband, Jeremiah.
Yes.
So what I found interesting was you asked to move. You'd been dying to move out of Missouri. And then you got what you wanted. Yeah. And then what happened?
Oh, pretty much the bottom dropped out. My husband and I, we had always talked about, if we ever got the opportunity to move somewhere other than Missouri, we would jump on it. And yes, we did get that. And we did pray about it sometimes, it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, I would just love to get out of here. This place is terrible. I just want to be somewhere else. Lived here my whole life, never been anywhere other than on vacation. So yeah, his work offered him a different position and to move to Texas. At the time, we actually had friends of ours that had moved from St. Louis to Houston. So I had this vision in my head that it was just going to be rainbows and sunshine. We were going to meet up with our friends all the time. We were going to have so much fun. It was just going to be a totally different life. That was definitely not what happened at all.
So one of the questions I asked you, because you here had been doing hair and makeup. And a huge part of that was your identity.
Oh, yes.
And one of the things that I'm always fascinated by as a woman is how quickly we identify in very specific roles.
Yes.
So I say, I'm Danielle, and this is who I am, and this is what I do, and I'm a mother, and I'm a podcaster, and sometimes we forget the core of who we are. And in talking to you, I was so enticed by the journey you are on right now to figure out who Holly is. And I love this so much for you, because I think especially women in our world now as mothers of children who are growing, it's so easy to fall into two identities. Mom and whatever profession we've chosen.
Right, exactly.
What is that journey looking like for you?
Oh, gosh. Moving, when we did move, and like you said, I put my identity into my career. What I'd done, I was a hairdresser for over 20 years. I was building a very successful makeup business. I was traveling, doing weddings. I was doing photo shoots for magazines in St. Louis. I was just loving my life. And, at the time, my husband and I were not in the greatest place. And I knew that it was going to take something huge for us to get to where we are now. And that's where we are. We are somewhere a whole lot better than where we were. But God definitely gave me what I asked for. I just didn't, I thought it was going to be what I wanted, not what I needed. And right now, I'm still working through those areas. What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? I know that my old life is left behind and I can't go back to that. That's not me anymore. But who am I? I'm still figuring that out day by day, little by little. But it's my faith, definitely my faith, that has carried me through all of it. I have actually, I want to say when we moved from St. Louis, I was going to church, yes, and I loved the church that we went to. But was I faithful? Yes, I believe. I don't think so. I think I just went because that was the trend. It's everybody's going to church now. Everybody's a Christian. Let's all go to church.
Okay.
It was an image, and I was trying to uphold that image.
It was like a hat you were putting on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's interesting. So before we go down the faith, because your faith plays a huge role in your story, and I want to explore that. But the first piece I want to talk about is when you say you got what you asked for, what was the piece that you thought, wait a minute, I'm not sure I actually want this after all. So you land in Texas, and what comes to a screeching halt? What is the piece that you say, I don't know that this is such a good thing after all? Is it that you don't know how to start your career there? Is it that you don't know if you want to start your career there? Is it just a disconnection with Texas versus Missouri?
It's every single one of those things. It was every single one of those things. I completely gave up on myself. I did not know what to do. I lost every bit of self-confidence that I ever had. And kind of thinking about it now, I look back and think I was just very comfortable where I was. I was very comfortable. It was easy for me to be who I wanted to be in front of people that I've known, my whole life, or friends that we had that, it was easy for me to be that. But then looking back now, it was all of those things. It all fell out. I could not believe that I was in Texas. And I was like, I have no family. I have no friends. We moved there during the pandemic, had no friends, not at first, but then I didn't know who I was. I would look in the mirror and think, I don't know who you are. I don't know. Why did you do this? Why did you make this decision to come here? You are so stupid for doing this. Like, you completely ruined your life.
So on top of everything else, you're beating yourself up. So your inner dialogue is you are not being a friend to yourself.
No, I was not. I was absolutely not. And on top of that, I was drinking heavily every single day to cope with the
move.
Was
that a new tip for you, or was that like you drank socially here, but you tipped into a I definitely tipped place.
Into it during COVID, and it got worse as we moved. That was my getaway. That was my feel good. This is my relax and, get away from all of the stress. But that was also feeding my demons because
as it does,
I would talk to myself even worse then because I was so mad that I gave up my entire life, my identity, everybody that I knew, everybody that I loved, to move to a place where I knew nobody. I had no support system. We had no family, nothing.
And here you were big fish, small pond.
Yeah.
Right? You felt like you had built this career. You had a substantial clientele.
I did.
You were working with important industries. Yeah. And all of a sudden you're going there and you're trying to say, I have years and years and years of experience. And people are saying, well, around here you don't.
Who you are.
Yeah. That means nothing to us. Right?
And it didn't.
And in that industry, I would imagine that's significant.
It was huge, not to mention where we moved to. We moved from little old Fallon, Missouri, where, yes, I mean, there's a lot around, but we moved to San Antonio, Texas. I don't know if you've ever been, but it is huge. I mean, there are buildings on top of buildings on top of buildings. It is completely saturated there. it was a complete culture shock. I was not used to that at all. Everywhere you went, people were speaking in a different language. And I was like, oh my gosh.
It's very diverse.
What did we do?
Whereas
yes. And it's not in O'Fallon. It's
O'Fallon,
not.
it is very one-dimensional.
Yes. And my kids went to a school where it was predominantly all white kids, and here my daughter is going to go to a new school where she's not the population is mostly Mexican, and she's one of the few white kids that go.
So culture shock for her as well.
Yeah. But, kids are resilient.
Absolutely.
And she made friends very quickly. I, on the other hand, not as quickly.
Okay.
I feel like as adults, it's a little harder as we get older to make those connections, more so when you're in an environment that you're not comfortable in. It wasn't hard for me to make friends here. When we lived here, it wasn't hard at all. I was a very social person. My husband would tell me all the time, I don't know how you talk to people like that. How do you just talk to people?
How do you just start? Yep.
But I was a hairdresser, a makeup artist. Like, you can't be a hairdresser and a makeup artist
and
without communication.
People, right?
Yes, like that just doesn't go hand in hand.
So what do you feel as though was your pivotal moment? At what point do you sort of pick yourself up off the floor and say, okay, something needs to shift?
Yeah.
Because right now my inner dialogue is I'm fighting myself. I don't like who I see when I look in the mirror. I'm not picking back up in a career again. My husband and I don't seem to be doing well. I'm drinking too much, and this is not going in the correct direction.
Yeah.
What do we do?
So that, honestly, that wasn't that long ago. It was about a year ago.
Okay.
We went from San Antonio. We were there for about 2 years. And then my husband's company, they changed to a different job location, which landed us in Austin. And by that point, here I was in my head again, oh, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the happy place, chasing happy.
Okay.
This is going to be the happy place. This is where it's all going to form. Little did I know that it wasn't going to form yet again the way that I had pictured it. I still continued to drink. I wouldn't say not as much as I started to kind of slow down once we were leaving San Antonio, because I started seeing things in myself finally that
you weren't enjoying.
No. And I know that my daughter could see some things, and that was affecting me because I was affecting her.
Okay.
And when your kids start seeing that,
yes,
that's a totally different ball game.
Your daughter is the same age as my daughter when I stopped drinking.
Yeah.
I was much further along in the negative process than you were. But yes.
Yeah.
Both of my kids were very pivotal in my process in stopping.
It's a very dark place. You know? Yeah, I struggled to go back and forth with those sometimes, and I know that I can't beat myself up because I can't go back to that.
Correct.
I can't change any of that. So my goal now is to just continue to be the best mom that I can be, that I know how to be. We're all learning. I mean, we only get this life once. It's not like we have a play-by-play of where we're going.
No one's giving us. No one is giving us a lesson guide. So,
but. So I had made, a couple of friends in Austin, and one of them, who I am still really good friends with, she introduced me to a couple of women. We had went to this place called Nameless Saloon, and everything in Austin is kid friendly. You take your kids everywhere.
Okay.
There's outdoor everything there. So we all brought our kids, and we were all just hanging out, and she had introduced me to two women who were in a group called God Pods. And at first I thought it was a podcast.
Oh, that's funny.
So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do like a podcast. This is great. I'm so excited. And little did I know that was the farthest thing. Like, that was not what this was.
Oh, that's funny.
It was actually, it was greater than that though. It was a great community of women who come together in their faith. They're very supportive of one another.
Okay.
I ended up going to one of their house, and we had just this big group meeting about the God Pods and the Bible studies that were going to be coming up. And I just felt just this peace come over me. Like,
Okay.
I think I'm where I'm supposed to be right now.
Okay.
Like, it was just like an overwhelming peace. And I just felt so great. Like, oh my gosh, are you finally giving me the people that I've been looking for? Is this what I've been looking for? Because so many times I had prayed, like, you see women, and women need other women.
Agreed.
I love other women. I love to be around women. I love to hear their stories. I love to hear their lives and what they do and, who they are. And I always see all these women making friends with all these, other women. And I'm like, where's my people?
Right.
Why don't I have people? Like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I find people?
There's nothing wrong with you.
But the thing is I was looking for the same people that I didn't need.
Okay.
I was looking for a circle of people that I had before that I wasn't even comfortable being with those people.
Okay.
I was not myself. I was trying to be somebody who I wasn't. And God was showing me a different way, a different light. And at first I kind of wanted to
push it away.
I don't know. This is kind of boring.
Not really sure if this is right for me.
But I've learned very much that it is definitely so much better than what I had imagined.
See, I love this because when we were talking the other night, and this feels extremely different than you putting on a hat and just doing what everyone else is supposed to be doing. Like, I'm supposed to go to church, therefore I am. This feels more like something that feels like a fit for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like the shoe, like the Cinderella shoe,
Right.
It fits perfectly. I was at the time didn't realize until I went on this retreat with all of these women. I've never been on a women's retreat before.
Okay.
And here I was going on this retreat, but it wasn't until then. And it literally, there was so many, oh my gosh, aha moments.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
During that I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it wasn't until literally before I was introducing myself that I was like, he was stripping me down for this, all for this, stripping away everything so that I could be who I'm supposed to be, not who I thought I was supposed to be for everyone else. I'm a people pleaser. I love pleasing people.
I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, I love pleasing people.
What is the first layer of you that you think that you're learning? Like, who is the first piece of Holly? So we're no longer saying Holly is just a makeup artist or just a mom. Like, what is that first piece of you that you're uncovering?
Oh gosh. To be honest with you, I don't think I've gotten to that yet.
Okay.
I'm still in that process of show me who I am.
Okay.
Show me what I am, not just what I'm supposed to be doing. I think that's part of my problems is that I'm always think that I have to be doing something to be somebody. I have to be doing this. I have to be doing makeup. I have to be on social media racking up the likes to be somebody. And that is the delusion in our world,
right.
And there's so many of us, especially moms, stay-at-home moms, me.
Right.
I never thought I would ever be a stay-at-home mom, ever.
Okay.
Never, ever, ever.
You almost make a certain face when you say that, like as though there is something, like there's a piece of you that used to think there was something wrong with staying at home. Did you?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, why? Why do you want to do that? I mean, I get it. Your kids are great. I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I was like, that's not for me. That's just not who you are.
But
you don't.
Does it feel like maybe it's you right now?
It totally is. It's 100% who I am. And I love it. I love being at home, being able to go to my kids' functions during the day and have me at their disposal. Like, to me, that's who I'm supposed to be right now. And I guess I just answered your question. So that is me, and it's not, my title isn't, stay-at-home mom, but that's my calling right now. I believe that we have many callings in our life. It's not just the one.
Absolutely.
I am where I'm supposed to be at this moment. Yes. So
isn't it interesting that you have wished for things? You have been given some of those things. You were given them and you instantly said, no, I didn't want this. And take it back.
I wish that sometimes I do wish there was a rewind button, but I also feel like if there was, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
What would you rewind?
I would say if I could rewind anything, it would be the hurt from my marriage.
Okay.
My husband is a very, his whole life is his family. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. He just does everything for his family. We went through a very, very, very rough spot for a while. And for me, I knew that I felt the only way that we were going to make it is if we left. Like, we were surrounding ourselves with...
Left Missouri?
Yes, left Missouri.
Okay.
Trying to think of a way to say this. We were just surrounded by unsupportive people.
Okay.
People that we thought were our friends, that when things got really hard for us, they didn't want any part of it.
We have to shed people. I mean, there's all kinds of phrases that define the way that looks, right? There's a reason, a season, a lifetime, right? And I have found that for me right now, the relationships that are the best fit for me are the people who can match my energy, that can match my heart. My ex-husband used to say to me, gosh, Danielle, you're always so disappointed because you give, and people don't. Yeah. And so your expectations are too high. Stop expecting so much from people. And I thought, gosh,
we're very similar.
So I was always blaming myself for expecting too much of people. And what I have since realized is my expectations are not too high.
Yeah, no.
I was just surrounding myself with many of the wrong people, right? And now I put the right people in my life. I make sure that I have the correct boundaries. I can still have some of those other people in my life. I just don't rely on them the same way because then I would be disappointed. I put the right people in the right order in my life so that I'm not disappointed because those are the people who match my energy. Those are the people who give the way I give. I mean, you met James, right?
Oh, yeah.
James is such a beautiful, perfect match for me. We give the same way. We give to others the same way. We give to each other the same way. And that's why it works, right? And I feel as though what you're describing here, even though there's a piece of you that would like to rewind, it sounds as though there were relationships you needed to shed.
And I think that is 1,000% true. At the time, I didn't know that, though. At the time, I was just very hurt.
Absolutely.
I was very hurt by those people. I mean, I had one go as far to tell me at one point, your husband used to be my favorite, but he's not anymore. Even to this day, that still just is like a knife in the back. Like, you're supposed to be one of my best friends. And I could never just say that to somebody.
No.
So, yeah, I carried a lot of hurt, a lot of resentment for a very long time. And then they were still the same people that I tried to keep in touch with when I came back and visited. And I was like, what am I doing? They don't care if I'm here or not. They could care less if we, or never come back. So why am I trying to make things work
But where's your level of peace now? Now that you've let some of that go, right? Because when we're constantly fighting to hang on to things that don't want us or that don't care, it's like swimming against a tide, right?
Yes.
And then when we let go of that,
it's a breath of fresh air.
And we're pulling at the same time as someone else is pulling with us. Wow, what a difference, right? I asked someone in another interview at one point, she was going through a process, and it was a very private, but it was a process where she was choosing to do something that I could see people having an opinion about.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked her if she shared it with people and whether or not she faced not backlash, but other opinions. And she said, no, I chose not to really share with people. I chose a very small group. And I said, what a brilliant idea, right? To not pull the room. And I think this falls into that same category that you are choosing
to release.
You're choosing the right people.
And that's a hard thing, because when you deeply love people as much as I did, those people, that's another thing that I was being stripped from, is my people, like my community, the people that I loved, but I didn't realize that they had already been letting go of me before I was even letting go of them. So creating that new space in my life, it's different. It all looks so much different. But I do love it. I do. I love it a lot. And I love the place where my husband and I are at now. It took us a while to get to here. It did. But it was both of us. And I will say, and he will love to hear this, I will say I probably was 70% of the issue. And wanting to move.
You're like, rewind, Jeremiah, did you hear that? Holly was 70% of the issue. Only 30%, just you. Maybe 28.
He has really just been, I think when I sent you that email yesterday, my steadfast, he has been in the boat with me, and I have rocked that thing more times than I would like to admit. But he has been the rock through that.
But I wonder whether or not there was a piece of you in going through this turmoil that there was something in you that needed to know for sure, with everything else that you were losing, that your rock wasn't going anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I think sometimes with the people closest to us, we push people away because 100%. We need the reassurance. We need, and I'm not saying that's the healthiest behavior,
it's definitely
right?
not. It's definitely
However,
not.
Sometimes it intuitively happens because we fear that we're getting ready to lose everybody. Yeah. We're losing. And it's like, am I getting ready to lose you too?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me you're going anywhere. And so we lash out. And what he said was, babe, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, fight me.
But I was self-destructing, and he was watching it, and he was trying so hard to pull me back, stop doing this, stop. There was a point, though, where he kind of jumped on the bandwagon with the drinking, because I think he was just like, what the hell?
Beat him, join him.
I'm just going to, beat him, join him, because I feel like that's the only way I can relate to her at this point, He was never a big drinker before that.
Right.
So I kind of feel like I did that.
There was a period of time when my drinking was worst. I was married, and my ex-husband and I, he didn't know what to do, and he was like, maybe I'll try. He was never a big drinker either, and tried to like, maybe I'll just join you.
Yeah.
And that didn't work either, because it just wasn't him. But he was trying so desperately to figure out why can't she stop?
Right.
Why, when she says she's going to stop, why doesn't she? Why? Like, it was just his effort to try all the different avenues to understand what is this struggle with alcohol, right? What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in this process so far?
Oh, gosh. I think the one takeaway that I've gotten from this is you have to move forward. You have to. You cannot hold on to your past life. You just can't. There's nothing behind you that is going to serve a purpose for you in your future self. Hanging on to those old wounds, those old scars, you're just beating yourself up. And I don't want to miss what I'm supposed to be getting. I don't want to miss what I'm supposed to be getting, because I'm still stuck in the past. I was reading a book by Christine Kane. She's an evangelist, and it's called Don't Look Back. And there's a part in it that talks about Lot's wife, and how when they were uprooted from everything that they had, and whether it be their belongings, their stuff, their fancy stuff, their food that they had, they were uprooted to move somewhere else. And the Lord told her, don't look back. And she did. and she turned into a pillar of salt. And now she's there forever, just stuck in the past and no future. And I don't want to do that. I've looked in the past for long enough that I can't look at it anymore. There's nothing I'm going to change. There's nothing that I can do from my past that is going to be good for where I'm going now. That was in the past. So I have to be, I have to move forward to move forward. I truly believe that God is opening doors, but you have to take that first step. And the first step is to take the first step. You have to move forward.
What are you most looking forward to?
Everything. I'm very excited. I've never been in a place where I'm not sure what's ahead, but I'm super excited to find out. And it's all because of my faith. It's all because of my faith. Because if you would have asked me that 4 years ago, I'd probably been sitting here sobbing my eyes out. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just lost. I'm just a big mush of wham bag. And
see, and I think this is part of the beauty of hope, right? Our faith is very different, right? And only because our paths have been different, and I have some trauma around the church, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I hope people will be able to take from this podcast is that whether your faith is your version and is as strong as yours or is mine, you can still be in a place where you are right now, where I am right now, looking so forward to the future and feeling so good about it, right? Because my version of faith isn't the same denomination as yours, but I'm also doing the work, and I'm also excited and I've been moving through this process, and I've been having faith that there are things that are bigger than me. And finding strength in community and finding my people and setting boundaries. And I believe that work can be done in all different forms, but there is a light that comes on in you when you talk about your faith. And I think that's beautiful, right?
But I also think I remember talking to Tina on the way here, and I was saying, the question I continually ask is, why me? Why? Why did I have to be the one that was stripped down to my bones to change? What is it about me? I think that all of us have a calling. We all have a calling, but it is up to us to step into that. And maybe that's what's happening now. I don't know. I would like to believe that is what's happening now, because I feel this burning inside of me of something great is happening. Something really great is happening. But I also have to be willing to open those doors and willing to be in front of that and not be stuck in the past.
And to fight for it a little bit, right? I mean, and so for reference, Tina is our mutual friend who introduced us, right? Tina is one of my heart people who matches my energy, right? And I know she does the same for you. But it's, when you say why you, I think that there isn't a one of us, right, who hasn't asked ourselves that question during some circumstance in our lives. And whether it's loss or grief or, having a broken down car. Like, why is this happening to me? Because anytime we struggle with something, we think, oh, why do I have to deal with this? Well, and if we didn't have to deal with the struggle, we wouldn't understand the beauty of joy and excitement and happiness, because the dichotomy of the two allows us the good experience. But the difference is whether or not we are willing to go through the experience and process whatever it is we're supposed to learn. I have said many times, I don't fall into the everything happens for a reason, but I do think that I'm supposed to figure out what to do with the things that do happen.
Sometimes, too, we're forced. I was forced to, this is what we're doing. We made a decision.
To some degree, right? But you had the choice to step into where you are now.
Oh, yeah.
You could very much still be sitting at home drinking.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely could. I definitely could. We could also still be living here, but I would tell you right now, my husband and I would not be together if we were.
Had I not stopped drinking, I wouldn't be here, period.
Yeah.
So I think that there are there are choices we make.
Mm-hmm.
There's a million little choices we make every single day that make a difference. What is the best choice that you think you've made in the past year?
Joining the sisterhood. Sisterhood.
Explain
Story.
the sisterhood.
So it's just a wonderful community of women all over the place. It's not just in Texas. They are from everywhere. We do Zoom Bible meetings sometimes, and they will come on from California, North Carolina, South Carolina, Missouri, just all over the place. But it's just a lot of, like-minded women that are just looking for a stronger faith, that are trying to find a purpose. And connecting with them has really changed me as a person, and with my walk with faith. I went on my first retreat, and it was, I'm sure a lot of people, it was life-changing. This was absolutely life-changing. I will never be the same person that I was when I left that place, or when I walked into that place.
What was so pivotal about it?
I felt so close to these women that I'd never met before. I've never met any of these women. I didn't know any of them, just through a Zoom meeting. But other than that, I'd never met any of these women. And I will say, for the first time ever, I walked into this huge, beautiful beach house, and there was women, and I didn't feel like I was being judged. I didn't walk in and think, I have the wrong shoes on. I have the wrong bag on my arm. My hair just doesn't look right. Or, everybody was so welcoming. Okay. And we were all there for the same reason. And I just remember.
What was the reason?
To follow God, to follow, our walk with our faith, and to get something more. And it was just so loving. There was so much love in that weekend that it was almost overwhelming. It was like trying to really undo unwind from everything that we had done. It was just like, wow, I haven't even wrapped my head around all of this. It was almost exhausting by the time Sunday got there and we had to go home. I was like, I am so tired.
Where do I even start?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we were up late at night, up early in the morning. And a lot of it was just worshiping, but we were all communicating. We were talking about our struggles. We were talking about real, raw things that happen as women. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why can't we do this without this? Why does it have to be this setting in order for us as women to lift each other up?
To feel as though we can have this experience.
I don't understand that. And that is the part of me that I was just so grateful to have that
Has
weekend.
It occurred to you that you could create something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Planting seeds.
Yes. It's just sprinkling a little here and there. But yeah, Sisterhood Story is, it was started actually during COVID. The founders of it came together and decided that this is something that they really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So they started doing the God Pods and placing little seeds all over the place.
Ah, there is the origin of pod. Got it. What is your personal definition of hope?
Oh, gosh. My personal definition of hope. On the way here, Tina told me you might ask me that. And I thought I really had this Tina, whole cheater. Definition because when I get caught off guard, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to ramble. But truly, you are like hope for me because I always put an age on everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm too old. I can't do this now. I should have done that when I was younger. I should have done this. Watching you do this, it literally gives me hope that there's more. There's definitely more. It's not over yet. God uprooted me for a reason. He pulled me out from where I was for a reason. And I know that it's not finished yet. So there's it's like having, people say happiness. Happiness is not something you have to have that every day. That's like when you choose to forgive somebody. That's something that you have to do every day sometimes. Sometimes it's a day where you're just like, meh. And other days I'm like, nope, I'm still going to give them
Still gotta.
Yep, I forgive you.
Wish you the day you deserve.
But happiness is not, it's something that you feel. It's something that you have to look for it every single day. And there's so much of it, but you really have to find it, and you have to believe that it's there. It's not all bad.
What advice would you give to a woman who was potentially getting ready to embark in the beginning of where you were?
Do not paint a picture. Don't paint a picture. Go with it. Do not expect anything, because it is not going to be what you think it's going to be.
And is that okay?
It is okay. It's 100% okay. But embrace it. Embrace it, because I did not. The first few years, I did not. I was so resentful to my husband. And this was a choice that we made together. Mm-hmm. We made this choice together. And I was so mad at him, because I don't really think I thought it through. But I think had I thought it through, we wouldn't have done it. And I really think that that is the beauty in this, is that we did let go. And I'm really glad that we did now. Not then, but I am now. But I would say to just please embrace it every single day, and be careful what you ask for, because sometimes he doesn't give you what you want. He gives you what you need. And I think I needed this more than anything.
But it's turned out.
It's turning out great. It is. It's turning out great.
I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see what comes next.
I know. I am too. Whether it be here, whether it be in Texas, we never know. Things change all the time. But I'm just now learning to take my own advice and embrace it and enjoy it, and stop worrying about the what ifs and the why nots and all of those things. They don't serve a purpose. They just irritate you. And, trying not to be on social media as much. It's going to be a little bit hard too, though, because
you know what? You're not the first person who has said that to me recently, and I have found myself doing that a lot. I mean, I spent years and years and years where it was my job, and it was the only thing I did, and I find myself not posting nearly as much as I used to, and not spending nearly as much time, to the point that I almost forget to post sometimes, because I'm enjoying this.
Peace and quiet.
I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm enjoying being with people rather than talking and being and keeping track of everything, rather than just want to be in the moment. Is there anything that that you'd like to share that I didn't ask you?
I think it would be my story from the retreat, which was just probably the biggest take home for me from that was I knew that I was going to win this retreat.
Okay.
It was an Instagram post from the Sisterhood Story, and I just kept getting that little nudge to look at it. Passed it by a couple times, and then got that final, nudge, like, hey, fill out the stuff and just go with it. Mm-hmm. I knew I was going to win it, though. It was just this thing that came over me that I knew that I was going to win it. The day that they announced it, Lindsay, the founder of Sisterhood Story, she called me, and I knew she was calling me because I know.
You're calling me because I won.
I'm jumping up and down. I was ecstatic. I mean, I was crying. I was like, I can't believe this. I actually knew this was going to happen.
Right.
And it did. It happened. So it was just, I don't know. I can't even explain the feeling that I had. But, when I got there, that evening was just women sitting around telling our stories, just giving bits and pieces of why we were there, what our hope was that we were going to take away from it. There's that word hope again. And
just
then
come sneaking in all the time.
And then it got to me where it was time to talk. And instantly I started having one of the worst panic attacks I've ever had. I couldn't even get words out of my mouth. I just instantly started trembling, and I was shaking so bad that the girl that was sitting behind me, and she was so amazing. Her name is Rachel. She was sitting behind me, and she put her hand on my leg, and I looked over at her, and I said, I'm having a panic attack. And she said, I know. And she just lightly just patted my leg, like, calm down, rubbed my back a little bit. And I was just like, like,
where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
Right.
Yeah. I don't even know where this panic attack came from. I was totally fine. It just did. And I think it was because my testimony that I was about to speak was so powerful that you couldn't mistake it. You know, it was this, I am where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And I was speaking that, and the girls were just like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, I knew I was coming. I knew I was. And the greatest part of it was I wasn't even the first one that was drawn. I was the second person. The first one couldn't make it work out. And so then it was me. So that makes it even more powerful that I was meant to be here. We also had Tiffany, who is an evangelist, that she came and she was speaking with us all day long. And then she was praying over us, and she did it for 7 hours. I mean, That's it was incredible. Just so powerful. And the lives that she changed that day, including mine, was remarkable. I've just never seen anything like it. And I was a full-on believer that I know that God is real, but I wanted to hear that with my own ears.
Right. You needed to test it.
So I prayed before she even got to me to pray over me. I started praying and asking things that only he would know that I was asking.
Right. You got very specific.
I did. And when she got to me, she started praying, and she opened her eyes and looked at me and said, wow, you were supposed to be here. You were meant to be here. And I just, goosebumps everywhere. Right. I was like, oh my gosh.
Because there's no way she could have known.
And no, she didn't know any of us. She had no idea who any of us were. We had all just met her for the very first time. So it was very powerful. And I just remember Lindsay singing, come on, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, let's go, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then she proceeds to tell me, God's not mad at you. He opened this door for you, and you're holding yourself in this prison. And he opened that door a long time ago.
And that
you're
had
just
been your
standing
fear.
There. Yes.
You were afraid that God was mad at
you. And she said, he's not mad at you. He's not mad at you at all. But he's waiting for you to leave because you're holding yourself there. She said, you have suffered a dark depression that most of us would never understand. And that I knew she was completely talking about me, because for almost 4 years, I held myself in this deep, dark depression that even Tina didn't even know.
Right.
Like, I told nobody. It was just my own little pity party. And
it's hard to get out of that. And especially when you're isolated and you're not surrounded by community, and you don't know where to go or who to talk to, and you're isolated within your own home because you don't feel heard there.
Yeah. And I'm a stay-at-home mom now. Right. I'm used to being with women all day long. Right. I'm used to having conversations. I'm used to people listening. I'm used to listening to people complain, not being the complainer.
Right.
I was used to just being surrounded by people all day, and I was not anymore. I completely lost myself. I was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing here. I mean, I'm not going to say that suicide was not somewhere in there at one point.
I understand that.
It was bad.
But look at you now.
I know. And I've had somebody tell me before, like, you shouldn't share your stuff in public. You shouldn't share your stuff with people. And a lot of that too, I think, I think my grandma would probably be like, don't do that.
Well, there is a generational disconnect in terms of oversharing, or there was a time when older generations didn't like.
Yeah, you bring that to the church. You don't bring that to public.
Right.
And I think
they hid, and everything was shameful, right? I quite honestly, to me, part of the power in this podcast is letting people know that they aren't alone.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you think about the number of topics we've touched on, my hope is that other people can feel seen by hearing your vulnerability and your experience, and recognizing what it looks like to to ask for something to get
Yeah.
it, and then to think, oh gosh, this isn't what I wanted.
And to not worry about what everybody thinks, because this is something that I've thought about before. Like, would my story ever, be enough to help at least one person to feel
Yes.
better about themselves and to get out of that
Yes.
rut that they're in, But it was always, but these people will hear it and then they're going to say things about me, or they're going to think. And no, that cannot store place in my head anymore.
Correct.
It cannot.
Nope.
Because there are so many people out there that only grow by watching other people shrink. And I refuse to be that person.
Correct.
I will not be that person shrinking for anybody anymore.
Nope.
I just refuse to do it. I may forever be a stay-at-home mom for the rest of my life, but at least I know that what I'm doing now or what I will be doing later is going to be a whole hell of a lot happier than where I was, and peaceful than where I was 5 years ago.
I think it's also important to recognize there isn't a but in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There isn't I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, but as though you have to.
I can work on that.
As though you owe anyone else an explanation,
Mm-hmm.
or as though you've taken a step backwards. You are where you are right now by choice, not because something bad happened.
Right.
Holly is choosing to be right here in this moment right now. And there's power in that. So I think that there is a little bit of grace you get to give yourself too, in recognizing that there was a piece of you that looked at staying at home as not necessarily the most positive thing before. And you get to see now that there's nothing wrong with it, right? Everybody gets to make the decision that feels right for them at any given time.
Well, and if I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to discover this person that I'm discovering, I just finished 75 hard.
I know you did.
I did.
We didn't even talk about that.
I just finished 75 hard.
Congratulations.
I'm like, I would have never done that before. I would have never even, I've tried it twice, and I couldn't stay away from the alcohol. And I was like, no, not doing it.
Yeah, the alcohol wouldn't be my problem, clearly, but it would be the exercising twice a day.
But when you're a stay-at-home mom and don't have anything else to do, which, I mean, I do have other things to do, but my schedule is a little bit more flexible. So it was a little bit easier.
I don't care if I had nothing else to do. Exercising twice a day is not on my radar.
I'm not going to lie. It was very grueling.
I'll bet.
I remember getting to day 30 and thinking, oh my gosh, I have 45 more days to go. I don't know how I'm going to do this. It was very daunting looking at a jug of water, a full gallon of water, going, I have to drink that for 75 days straight. Like, But
you did it.
I did. And I'm very proud of myself. And I'm going to go to the next phase after this.
I was going to say, what's the next task? What's the next?
I'm phase 1 is the next one. So
okay.
I'm going to push through that. Yeah, Mama, I'm
right.
going. I'm telling you.
I am proud of you. I am proud to know you. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm very glad I was
Wasn't
able to
nearly
do this.
as scary as you thought it would be.
It wasn't.
Excellent.
I didn't ramble.
No, you were amazing. No, you were fantastic.
Well, you make it easy.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate it.
Very glad to be here.
Thank you.
Very glad.
Your story is powerful.
Thanks.
And thank you, friends, for joining us on this episode of Hope Comes to Visit. I certainly hope that during this last 45 minutes to an hour, you have found a soft place to land, that there is a piece of Holly's story that has resonated with you, that you will take some time and share it with people you know, and that you will find a way to say, hey, this is something that you need to hear. I hope that you will come back and visit with us again on our next episode. And between now and then, that you will take very good care of yourself. Thank you for being with us. Naturally, it's important to thank the people who support and sponsor the podcast. This episode is supported by Chris Dully, a trusted criminal defense attorney and friend of mine here in St. Louis, who believes in second chances and solid representation. Whether you're facing a DWI, felony, or traffic issue, Chris handles your case personally with clarity, compassion, and over 15 years of experience. When things feel uncertain, it helps to have someone steady in your corner. Call 314-384-4000 or 314-DUI-HELP, or you can visit dullylawfirm.com to schedule your free consultation.